and welcome guests. I want to talk about who sleeps. Okay, well we know that we all sleep here. But what about the lesser creatures, like the plants and the bugs? Do they actually sleep? Well, it's shown that plants do have a circadian cycle where they do sleep. And they will almost close up a little bit or hover in order to get their rest. This is really interesting because the way that they sleep can change the way that predators come after them. So if they're sleeping, they're more susceptible to being taken away by a small animal. If they're awake, they're more apt to say, "Go away, stop, I'm awake." We can't really see if the plants are awake most of the time, but we can see an interesting thing that happens with sunflowers. When the sun goes down, the sunflowers do kind of hover over, and when it comes back up, they wake right back up. Now, if they change their circadian rhythm, they can get them off track. Just like you get off track when you stay up too late one night and try to make up the sleep at another time. You really have to follow the cycle that's given to you. What corn plants do, they are susceptible to the light, just like we're susceptible to the light. We get out of bed when the sun comes up most of the time if we work the first shift. Well, these little corn plants, what they did was they put light bulbs on the ground around the farm, and they found that these little corn plants hovered towards the light. They really did change their cyclical rhythm as to when they turned those lights on and off. If they turned the lights on during the day, they popped up, and in the night they went down. And the reverse happened when they tested them. Now, what about bugs? Do bugs sleep? Bugs do sleep. And you know, sometimes when you're going to swat a fly and he's really slow, you're actually probably swatting something that's sleeping, so he has a disadvantage. How would you like to be swatted to wake up? It's kind of rude. We might want to learn some etiquette for these poor bugs. Now, the bugs, they can move around a little bit, a lot more than the plants can. So they've been studied a lot with their cyclical cycle. And what they did was they got a group of bugs that were on one cycle and a group of bugs that were on another cycle, and they transplanted half of their brain into the other insect to see what they would do. And in some cases, they could change the time that they went to sleep because of the brain transplant that they gave them. It wasn't that painful, I'm sure, Lucia. Did you know that you are on a rhythm of sleep? And the more melatonin you have, the sleepier you are. And I think I manufacture enough for 5 people here. If they need a donor, here I am. Kids sleep a lot more than adults. But you know, kids are actually better sleepers than adults. When they go down, they go into a deep sleep. Whereas sometimes adults go into a pattern that is considered a protective mode, especially if you're sleeping in a hotel or if you're sleeping in somebody else's house, or if you happen to be sleeping on the street. Well, you always have one side of your brain that's awake because you're not really comfortable. If you're in your house, both sides are operating. But when you're in that motel and you're not used to it, half of you is still awake, kind of looking out for you. And you know, that's how birds sleep. Birds fly, catch the drift, and they go half asleep and half awake. And they get their sleep that way. Sleep is a really important topic because we all spend so much time doing it. Some people a lot more than others. And it's interesting that they're studying plants because with plants, they're learning that sometimes it might be better to send the chemicals over the group of plants that they need to fertilize during the day when they're open, not in the evening when they're closed up. And little things that we're going to learn from bugs and plants and people will help us to be better sleepers. I hope you enjoy your rest.